The people behind No Villains Are Safe, when they are in hell, I think that their like hell punishment needs to be that they need to live through all of the collective time that they tricked out of people on Earth when they made these videos. Whoever's responsible for this. It's like they're going out of their way to not analyze. You know what? I bet No Villains Are Safe, whether they're AI or not. I bet they go out of their way to not have analysis. If they talked about the story implications of Patrick's glow up in this episode, they would have to do that for every single section, all 18 of them. And they don't want to do that. So they actually have to keep it a certain level of shallow in order for their videos to keep going. No Villains Are Safe has a thing in all of their videos where it says like, we're proudly made without AI. I don't believe them. I think they're lying. I think that their scripts are... So here's the thing about No Villains Are Safe that makes them a little different from Sponge Truths. So like Sponge Truths is, I would say, the most obvious of like what we would expect from an AI channel, which is just they have a AI writes their script, AI does the voice, and then it's just these really shallow, like, you know, crappy videos. Like that's Sponge Truths. Sponge Truths is like the most obvious version of that. And clearly Sponge Truths is successful doing that. Sponge Truths, I think, is like the best, not the best, like I think AI is bad, but you know what I mean? Like they're the best at it. No Villains Are Safe, and by extension, Scribble. This is Scribble. Scribble and No Villains Are Safe are just, they're run by the same company. So they're basically the same. They're just two channels so that they can split when things get posted. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So No Villains Are Safe, their whole goal is to get you to stare at the screen to the end of the video. Obviously, that's the goal of any entertainer, is to get you to watch their stuff. But No Villains Are Safe is the difference between myself and No Villains Are Safe is that I care about the things that I'm saying. I have a passion for it. No Villains Are Safe does not. Sponge Juice does not. And No Villains Are Safe is just for, by whatever means necessary, how can they keep you staring at their channel so that they can make money? No Villains Are Safe can't just post clips from Family Guy, can't just post clips from SpongeBob, because you get taken down for copyright for doing that. So they put in just enough of recapping, of speaking around it, of editing, so that they don't get copyright, you know, taken down. But beyond that, it's just wasting your time with clips. And No Villains Are Safe has so much plausible deniability for not being AI that I think that they're more dangerous. But I think we know enough about No Villains Are Safe that we should call them an AI channel. Like I think saying No Villains Are Safe just flippantly like is an AI channel. Like I think it's fine. If there ever was a time where like, you know, No Villains Are Safe, ball is in your court. If you want to like show us like your behind the scenes process and show a person like writing a video or making these thumbnails from scratch, and you want to prove you're not AI, ball is in your court. No Villains Are Safe. I think that you have given us no reason to think otherwise. So that is my, you know, everyone is entitled to plead their case. So I think that if No Villains Are Safe wants to prove that they're not AI, have a time lapse of someone writing one of their videos on the script, have them record their screen while they write the script, like just to prove it or whatever. Obviously, like even then there's, you know, shadow of a doubt and plausible deniability and all that. There's so much that goes into, you know, whether or not a thing is true or not. But with like No Villains Are Safe, it's like we could just be like AI content farm, especially because it's such a like, they are that, you know, like, I guess the bottom line is, even if No Villains Are Safe came out and was like, we are not AI, I would probably, no, I wouldn't probably, I would still cover them. If No Villains Are Safe proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were not AI, I would still cover them. I just would say that they're not AI because I would know for sure that they aren't if they proved it, that they weren't. They haven't proved that they are, and they haven't proved that they haven't. I've seen a couple of things that make me think that they are. So I'll continue like saying AI, but also acknowledging the ambiguity of that. Even if it isn't AI, the channel's still garbage. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, No Villains Are Safe. It's not even about the AI. I mean, like, AI is just a method of making more garbage faster. Humans are perfectly capable of making garbage. We have for a long time. And that's bad. And it's bad when we make garbage. And I advocate against making garbage. And I think that I think that like before AI, there was recap channels. There was Cinema Sins making their garbage of like the most shallow comments on movies ever. But AI just gives the power to make a lot of that very fast to the point where it's going to drown out human made content. That's one of my arguments. I have multiple arguments for it, but that's one of my arguments for why generative AI should be banned. Whereas with like bad content, I mean, I think recap content should be banned as well. It's just a lot harder to regulate. Like if you get rid of AI, I don't know if No Villains Are Safe would disappear overnight. Sponge Truths would disappear overnight. If AI was banned, generative AI was banned, there would be no Sponge Truths. They would be gone the next day. And plenty of other bad stuff would be gone the next day too. Like we don't need generative AI. It is a net negative. It is a net negative. We do not need it. But like No Villains Are Safe could probably still persist. If they do use AI, their production would definitely take a hit, but I bet they'd keep kicking. Recap content would be very difficult to crack down on. I think it can be done. Like, I think that YouTube should personally crack down on it, and like they should have people who at least look at big channels and are like, okay, all you're doing is recapping episodes. Let's demonetize your channel. Let's delete your channel, whatever. It's a very difficult line to draw, and it's a very difficult power to give, because people who do genuine criticism have to do some element of recapping. So it's very hard. And No Villains Are Safe takes advantage of that. The fact that there are people like me who are actual reviewers that have to do a little bit of recapping to talk about to make our real transformative content, they take advantage of that leeway and, give an inch, take a mile. That's what content farms do. That's what evil people do, is they see a loophole that other people use to get ahead and to do well and to work within honest systems, and they take advantage of that system. That's kind of what No Villains Are Safe does. Maybe it's bots that are watching videos and subscribing. I don't, as much as I think that there could be an element of that with No Villains Are Safe and Sponge Truths. I think that there isn't, because you can buy subscribers, you can buy views. Generally that backfires though, because first of all, that's literal fraud. Like, you are defrauded. The way that you get paid on YouTube is advertisers run ads on the videos, and they pay YouTube for the ads, and the creator gets a cut of those ads. That's how you make money on YouTube. It's not the only way to make money on YouTube. There's also things like super chats if anyone feels so inclined and really wants their question read. That's one way. Is hint, and channel members, and sponsorships is another thing. If you bought viewers, those viewers are not real viewers, so they're not actually engaging with the ads. So the advertiser who paid for their ad spot would be cheated, would be defrauded. So that's a pretty big deal. I don't think YouTube takes that lightly. There are probably ways to get away with it. There's schemes and scams. If you've ever seen like The Sopranos or something, like that's like all people do is scheme and scam. It's a grift economy. It's what we're living under right now. This is where this is an economy where a major part of it is betting on if countries are going to go to war, betting money on it like they're racehorses. Like, we are in a grift economy, okay? So, like, I wouldn't say there's no way to game the system. I don't know what it is, though. I don't know, but and that's probably because if there is a way that they're doing that, botting views, botting subscribers, that's probably not public. You'd probably need like a whistleblower to like know that. Like, maybe one day there'll be like some huge investigation of it. See anything really fishy, or if anyone can figure out anything really fishy involving that, I would love to know about it. But I can't say I know for sure. My Sponge Truths theory is that they write the scripts and run it through several LLMs in the hopes that something sticks. Well, why would they write the scripts in that case? I don't think they write the scripts. I think they prompt a script. It's very easy to do that. You only have to put a couple of sentences, and it'll give you like a whole script. Like, it's crazy what these things do. They don't give you a good script, but they give you a word count. Like, they give not a word count specifically, but they can get you a lot of words if you do it right. What should I do? My little brother started watching Sponge Truths, but I don't want to be rude. How old is your little brother? I could probably give you some advice on how to deal with it. If your little brother's like a little kid, just have your parents make him stop and have your parents monitor what he watches on YouTube because and that's a bigger deal than just Sponge Truths. If your little brother is watching Sponge Truths, you have a couple bigger problems than that. There's a general issue with your brother's media consumption. I assume little brother is like a kid. I don't know if that's the case. They could be 25, maybe you're 30, and your little brother is like 25, in which case I guess that's a little different. So I can answer differently, but I'm going to assume it's a little kid. Um, if it's a little kid, then the parents just need to make sure little kids shouldn't watch YouTube. I don't care. I don't care. You should be like, I don't know, 14 or maybe a little older to watch YouTube. Little kids shouldn't watch YouTube. Little kids should watch SpongeBob, by the way. That's what little kids should watch. They should watch SpongeBob. SpongeBob is great for a developing mind. I used to watch No Villains Are Safe. Didn't realize it was AI until I started watching these, but I could tell there was no substance. Interesting. If I could ask you a question, you'd feel free to not answer if you don't want to, but why were you okay with watching it when you could tell there was no substance? And like, feel free to answer honestly. Like I think a general subject of this particular stream segment about No Villains Are Safe, I want to focus a lot on the viewers. And I want to focus on the viewers in a way that is nice, you know? And I do like, and it's from a place of, you know, like I care about people and their perspectives and I care about how these things hurt people. Like I don't want to like shame people for like watching it. If that makes sense. So I would be curious to know like your answer and see if I can kind of use your honest answer about it. Cause I can't wrap my head around it. Just for me personally, I just cannot watch something that has no substance. I just can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. It just drives me crazy. So like I would never be able to watch this because I would clock that it's you know, that it's hollow like so quickly. You know, and I don't want to say that from like an elitist perspective of like, ooh, I would know immediately. Cause I don't believe that about people. Like I know that not, and it's not like, you know, like we tend to think of like, ooh, this is, you know, people can get insecure where you think it's like a smarter, dumber thing. It's not like, it just isn't like I grew up in the arts. It's my expertise. If someone's not in the arts, then that I can understand. Like someone could be a rocket scientist and they could not know that much about movies and TV show writing, and they could watch a No Villains Are Safe video and not clock how shallow it is. Like, it's fine. You're like, you know, they could be a rocket scientist. They're smarter than me. Like, I don't know. Not that I believe that certain people are specifically smarter or dumber than others. I think it's a little more complicated than that because there are different subjects that people know more in and there's different proficiencies, the whole thing. I feel like people, myself included, are so used to watching things whenever they do anything, and content farms provide that resource. Huge part of it. Yeah, a lot of people who watch stuff like this are doing something else while they watch it, for sure. Another big one is people watch stuff while they fall asleep. Some people literally have like TV shows play on like autoplay, like on Netflix while they go to sleep, or these YouTube videos. That's why a lot of these content farms, they'll have like this many hours of like SpongeBob stuff to fall asleep to. It's funny. I thought that was just like a euphemism. When I saw like this to fall asleep to, I thought that was just a like way of saying this is a very long video. Like you could watch this video all night. But it literally means people like I did that once when I used to make gaming content. I like put a bunch of my videos together and said like, watch this to fall asleep to. And I didn't realize that it literally means people have it on while they sleep. I think it's an anxiety thing. Like maybe it simulates like a person is like with you, or like you wake up and you hear voices and maybe that like grounds you in like reality, where it's like, oh, like if you wake up and there's like a TV show on, it's like, oh, like I am safe when I watch TV. That means that I am in a safe place. You know, I think it's a bit of an anxiety thing. But apparently that's the thing. People watch videos for a long time while they sleep. So that's another thing that can happen for why this happens. Do you think AI has a use in art on YouTube that can't be replicated by actual people? I do not think generative AI has a place in existence. No. There's literally no, as someone who understands like the arts and communication, there is never a point where there's a benefit to having a computer make something that is like creative, like text or like like a script or an image. There's literally no utility for it. Any amount of time saved that would ease a production of something is a net negative. It makes the thing so much worse because you lost human intent. There is zero. And that's not a thing that's not a knee-jerk reaction. That's not me going, oh, I don't like this thing. That is calculated. That is understanding how the arts works and understanding how AI works is how I came to that conclusion. That is a very nuanced, specific decision that has come to a very absolute extreme point. Sometimes that happens. It's basically like saying, do you think that cancer can have a use in the body if it's controlled? No, it's cancer. If you know about how the human body works and you know about how cancer works, the best thing to do with cancer is to get rid of it entirely. It's the same thing. Why do people watch this? And is there something wrong with watching this? And if you are someone who has watched No Villains Are Safe as we go into this, just know that I am not attacking you. I am not trying to shame you. I just want us to think about how, when we watch content like this, when we spend our time watching content like this, does it affect us and does it affect the people around us?
Here's your regular SquarePants wearing SpongeBob on his way to work.
So they always try to be so flashy at the beginning of these videos. You notice that? Like, it's like the model and the going out. Like, this doesn't look like it was like AI made. Maybe it was in some way. I don't really know. It doesn't look that like fake or anything. But like, it's such overcompensation, Like look, I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with like making the beginning of your video look like cool and flashy if you like have the resources for it, like maybe I just don't get it because like I don't have the resources to like make something like this. Like, I just start my videos with like a little thing pops in of like the footage, sometimes at the beginning of my videos I'll have something like zoom in rather than like, just to give it a little bit of a this is starting. But like, I don't do all this stuff with like all the zooming out. It just feels like it's already overcompensating. It's trying to give it a look, there's something to look at, but when you go behind the surface, there just isn't anything.
Now here's Quote Up SpongeBob, looking and sounding like he slid straight out of the covers of GQ.
Hey, cool crowd.
Someone turn on the heat in here? Now, as usual.
I can't stand the narrator, but I think we're going to have to call that. I think the narrator's not AI, guys. I know. We hate the narrator. We want to think it's AI. Isn't it almost better that he's not AI? Because then we can hate on him for being a bad narrator. I've had multiple comments. I've questioned in my other No Villains Are Safe videos if the narrator is AI. I've always kind of leaned towards that. I don't think he's AI. There was a point after I did the first one where I was like kind of thinking it was, but I just think there's lots of people who I would get comments where they're like, look, like I'm a voiceover person. There are things that the voice actor does that is not AI. And I think I'm inclined to agree. No Villains Are Safe. They want people to think they're not AI. They can afford to pay someone to do the voiceover. Like, it doesn't mean that they're not garbage. It doesn't mean that they're not AI. It just means that they're a little less blatant than SpongeTruths because they don't want people to think that they're AI. Why would you not spend an extra, I don't know, $50 a video? How much do they pay him to voice it? Like, if it's 40 minutes, how long would it cost to pay a voice actor to do a video that's 40 minutes? A bad voice actor, like, that probably doesn't charge that much. Like, I bet you could get a Fiverr person to do this for like $100 maybe. You'd be getting screwed if you're a good voice actor. You shouldn't take $100 for a 40-minute video, especially ones that pulls the views that No Villains Are Safe gets. Like, you'd be getting screwed. But like, why would they not? Even $200, like, they make enough. It would be worth it for them.
Well, I had nothing better to do with my time, so I went through every single...
Oh my God, always with that. I had nothing better to do with my time. Someone commented this. It's funny. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate when they say that. So, you know, I find that personally offensive because YouTube is my job. So they say, yeah, they say this whole like, I had nothing better to do with my time, so I did that. And I just did a video where I did every episode of Kamp Koral. Guys, it is work. Like, I get the merit of the sentence. Like, I get like how to a layman, they'll be like, haha, I didn't have anything to do with my time. But you know what else it does that I don't like? And why I would never say something like this of like, I had nothing better to do with my time, or instead of doing something productive, I watched all of SpongeBob. First of all, it's literally my job. So like, that is the most productive thing that I do because that is the thing that pays my bills right now, at least. I've only recently gone full time with this, but like, so I can't really say, oh yeah, I didn't do anything productive. I watched Kamp Koral all week. Well, that was the productive thing that I did. You know, and I think we should be a little honest about that as like creators, that like this is our job. But also like, I think it just weakens what you're doing. Like it has this air of like, oh, well, like I'm just like a cartoon reviewer, like whatever. Like I'm just talking about like have pride in what you do. Okay. Like have, you know, like I just hate, I hate the attitude of like not taking life seriously. It's just this apathy of like, I had nothing better to do, so I just watched this. And you know what? For No Villains Are Safe, it's true because they don't do anything but just recap episodes. All they do is recap episodes. So like, yeah, they're not doing anything productive. I mean, they are in the sense that they're like making money. I mean, they didn't actually watch the show. I don't think they have AI do it. And we've seen them make some pretty glaring mistakes. Imagine if you went to a restaurant and like the chef was, I mean, I guess you don't see the chef at a restaurant, but like whatever. Like let's say like there's the chef at a restaurant and they're like, huh, instead of doing something productive with my life, I made your souffle. It's like, well, I wouldn't want to eat that souffle if you don't think it's productive what you're doing. You know, yeah, like I guess if I was just making a souffle like by myself in my house, yeah, I guess that wouldn't be productive because it wouldn't be my job. But if you're a chef, it's your job. You know, like, yeah, if you were just like sitting around and just like watching SpongeBob episodes and like writing down when they had their glow ups or whatever, like, yeah, I guess that wouldn't be very productive. But if it's your job as a YouTuber, you should be more, you should take more pride in what you do, you know? Okay, here's another disingenuous thing they're doing here.
As usual, I had nothing better to do with my time, so I went through every single transformation in the entire 16 seasons of SpongeBob to answer.
So they say I went through every transformation in the entire 16 seasons of SpongeBob, okay? That's important. This is a strategy known as lying. So what it's doing, implying here, is that they watched all of SpongeBob. Now, remember, No Villains Are Safe makes like 3 videos a week. And most of their videos will cover like series long things. Like think about like, what would SpongeBob's prison sentence be? That implies watching the entire series. Okay. And marking down the times where SpongeBob was most like did crimes or whatever, or something like, how much damage has Peter Griffin done to Quahog? You would have to watch every episode of Family Guy and hope that there's one where like Peter does some kind of collateral damage, or maybe there's like a wiki that says like list of episodes where characters go through a transformation. I don't think there would be. I always had trouble with this when I was doing I did a couple videos similar to this. Like one I did was ranking every time the Krusty Krab got destroyed. I also did ranking every time the Chumboka got destroyed. I'm currently working on ranking every time Squidward's house got destroyed. That one's probably a little ways away. And something that was a good resource for that was that on the SpongeBob wiki, there was a section under the Krusty Krab page, times the Krusty Krab was damaged. But I had to kind of pick out some because there was a couple where it was like in just one bite, SpongeBob's hat flies off his head when he gets surprised and it breaks through the top of the restaurant, creating a hole. And I'm like, that's not the Krusty Krab getting destroyed. That's not going to be in my video, you know, or something like that. So I had to go through and use my own discretion. But even that got some of it wrong. Like my Krusty Krab destruction video wasn't just about destruction. I also included times where Mr. Krabs sold the Krusty Krab. Like Patty Hype was in that one because Mr. Krabs sells the Krusty Krab to SpongeBob. He trades it to him for pretty patties. And that wasn't on the list of times the Krusty Krab was destroyed. So we watched a little after that, after I made the video, after it was well up. It was some episode. It was like a special. I don't remember why I watched it because I haven't covered it, but it was like a special where SpongeBob and Squidward become like a band or something, and Mr. Krabs becomes their manager, and he pawns the Krusty Krab. He puts it in a pawn shop. And I just was not aware of the existence of that episode when I made the Krusty Krab video. It would have been on the list. It just would have been. I just missed the episode because I would have had to watch the entirety of SpongeBob. I actually, to this day, have not seen literally every single episode of SpongeBob. There are some gaps in my SpongeBob viewership to the point where I have a very large video idea that I want to do, which is ranking every time a SpongeBob character got arrested. Kind of with these no villains are safe prison sentence videos has kind of inspired me to do kind of a good version of that, where I talk about every time a character gets arrested and how that serves the story and how that teaches a lesson and all that sort of stuff and make it like good. And I think in order to do that video, I'm going to have to watch every SpongeBob episode that I've never seen before, just to check if there's something where a character gets arrested that's just like not listed, you know, like on the wiki, so that I don't miss something. So what No Villains Are Safe is doing here is they are making you believe that they watched the entirety of SpongeBob for this video, giving you an idea that they put in a certain amount of work that they didn't. They just didn't. Either they didn't because AI answer is they just had AI write them a script and give them a list of episodes or give them, you know, whatever. That AI did it and they did literally nothing. Let's even give them the benefit of the doubt answer. Let's say they didn't use AI. They only watched those 16 episodes that they arbitrarily decided were the best examples and pretended like they watched the whole show and chose those 16 as the best ones. They did one of those two things. If there's anything that I know that they didn't do, there's no way that they watched all of the entire series of SpongeBob just to make this video. That would be insane. No one would do that. You would not want to pay someone to do that. Even for me, if I go and watch all of SpongeBob, first of all, I'd be doing it for a particularly big video. And secondly, I would take particular notes on each like individual episode so that I'd be able to go back to it and have an idea that like certain things happen. But you can't do that with something as niche as like a transformation. There's no way. Like, let's say when they started the channel of No Villains Are Safe, they did one big watch through of all of SpongeBob that existed at that time. And they took notes on every episode, said what did certain things happen? Is there a crime worthy thing? Is there things that would be good for like their videos? Let's say they did that in good faith. There's no way they did, but let's say they did. They wouldn't have been thinking about transformations all that time ago. So they would have had to go back and rewatch the whole thing. That's kind of the difficult thing about it. So this is just lying. All that to say. I know this isn't the case, but what if No Villains Are Safe has multiple workers and one worker's job was to watch all 16 seasons for this video? Yes, we addressed that in the Family Guy video. They did, in my most recent No Villains Are Safe breakdown, we talked about a video they did about what percentage of Family Guy are cutaways. And basically they didn't give you a real percentage. They gave you an average and they acted like it was a real percentage. It was very dishonest the way they did it. They like sneakily put it in there. They were like, it's an average for like a second. But if you look at the thumbnail and you look at the thing as a whole, it can slip by you very easily. And I actually calculated how long it would take to watch every episode of Family Guy. And I assume SpongeBob is similarly big as Family Guy. I think Family Guy probably has more episodes than SpongeBob, but still, it'd be a lot to watch. It'd be like over 1,000 hours of work just to watch it. So there's no way they would have that. So good question, but there's no way they would have that. Even creating a master list of stuff like that when casually watching is hard. It really is. It's so hard. When I watched Kamp Koral, I had to take notes. I had to have next to me. It's not like just watching the show. Like, it's not the same. Watching the show and watching the show for a job are not the same things. Again, the whole I didn't do anything productive with my time obfuscates that by making it seem like, it's no biggie. I just watched all the show. They actually don't want you to think that that's hard. It's a balance. They want you to think that it's hard, and they want you to think that it's not hard. Because if you think that it's hard, then you're going to realize that they didn't do it. But if you think that it's not hard, you're not going to think that they did enough work to justify your viewing time. It's a huge balancing game, and like they figured it out, you know, like they figured out the way to trick people. It's crazy the things that people do to trick people. When like at that point you should just do the work, man. Like why figure out all of this trickery? Why figure out all of this like ways of lying to your audience, of gaining the algorithm, of putting in just enough footage? Like wouldn't you be able to put in just as much effort to learn the things that I know how to do and then just make normal videos at that point? I don't really, I mean, I guess not. I guess what I do is harder, you know, but yeah.
The question that nobody asked, which SpongeBob character had the best glow up? So
Okay, that's the main thesis of this video. Who cares? I'm sorry, who cares? What does it even mean? Has the best glow up? What, like, I know what it means. Like, it means like handsome Squidward, you know, like, that's not even like the handsome Squidward. That's more of a, oh, it's under me. It's under my face. Hold on, let me disappear for a second. That's like the not handsome, like it's the handsomer Squidward, but it's not the handsome Squidward that we know of. It's from the same episode, but he's so they used kind of the wrong one, because I'm sure they're going to talk about handsome. No, you know what, they're going to just recap that whole episode. Who am I kidding? They're going to just recap the whole episode. Anyway, why does this matter? Like, what are you actually getting out of watching this? And I genuinely want to know, if you're someone who watched this video, I don't want to make you feel bad. In fact, I want to hear from you. I want to know, why did you watch this video? What drew you to it? Why does this matter to you? Do you not see how meaningless this is? The whole idea of like a SpongeBob character in one episode having a thing where they like look good. Like, what does that mean to you? Are they going to talk about how them looking better had something to do with the story? Are they going to talk about how it's a commentary on like attractiveness, or like, you know, perception or confidence or all that stuff? Are they going to talk about that? Is that going to be the video? Of course it's not going to do that. It's just going to say, in this episode, Patrick put on a suit, or whatever this is implying. Doesn't he look nice? Doesn't he look dapper? And like, that's going to be it. And like, you understand that if you watch this, I do believe this, you are hurting yourself. Like, you are. And I know it's small. Oh, it's so small. Oh, it's just a 40-minute video. Oh, I'm tired. Well, I came home from work and I'm so tired. It's just on while I like make dinner or whatever. Well, put on something more productive, man. Like, okay, there's so many things that you could watch while you're doing anything. And I get it. Like, life is hard. You could work a hard job. You could do this. You could make a million excuses for anything. You're only hurting yourself. All right. Don't do it for me. You're not making my life better. It doesn't make a difference. I watch stuff that has substance, and that's why I'm probably in a place where I could make YouTube videos where I have that kind of mental acuity to do that. But like, you're only hurting yourself by like watching this stuff. Like, you really are. And I don't want to like, shame is a worthless emotion. I don't want to make you feel ashamed. There's no like, oh, I'm so ashamed. I don't want you to feel ashamed. It doesn't matter. You can only move forward. Okay. You didn't hurt anybody. It's not like, it's fine. You know, like, just the feeling of like that bad feeling. If you're someone who watched this and you feel kind of called out right now, that feeling is just your mind and your body telling you to just not repeat it. That's all that it is. It's not bad. It's okay. You're going to be fine. This will never do anything to you. There will never be a time in your life where recapping an episode where SpongeBob put on the band Geeks outfit. I don't know. That's not really a glow up also. That's just a marching band outfit. I mean, like, sure, he looks nice in it and all, but like, every character wore this in that episode. But you know, like, that's never going to do anything for you. And you can watch things that do things for you. Like you either do like the reality is that when you watch a YouTube video, you are either watching a video that is giving you substance or is not. Okay? There is a dichotomy there. You are doing one or the other. A video either does that or does not do that. There can't be an in between. So between those two things, if you watch the thing that doesn't give you substance, you are getting less substance in your life. And that adds up, that does add up. That does add up. It does make you a less introspective person. And that also adds up socially. That's why these channels are bad, because it adds up across the entire population. Obviously, if, I was saying if AI were banned, even if AI were banned, I think No Villains Are Safe would still operate. But these things being popular, these things being out there is bad for the whole population. For that reason, but also you can be responsible for yourself. It's the element of personal responsibility and social responsibility, the responsibility of yourself to yourself and the responsibility of just us to keep an eye on the world and make sure that socially things are working out all right. You have to consider both of those things. You're either watching something that has substance or does not have substance. Now, not all things with substance are created equal. Perhaps if, you could say the same thing, you watch one of my videos and I'm ripping on a modern SpongeBob episode. Well, at that point, maybe it's like, well, why don't you watch a science channel that tells you about geology or something? I don't know. Why don't you maybe watch a personal finance channel? Maybe they'll teach you something about how you can avoid getting a predatory mortgage if you ever buy a house. Like, that's productive. Maybe you'd be better off watching that instead of watching my, and like from there, it's like, okay, when you're having that conversation with yourself of, okay, what kind of productive thing can I watch? That's already a net positive. And hey, maybe that is what you'll find. Maybe you'll be like, you know what, these Jackson Finelli videos, if you're a fan of mine, maybe you will watch something else and you'll think that's more productive. I don't know. Maybe you'll be better off for it. You know what? That's fine. That's okay. I think that my videos are pretty good for you mentally. Like, I kind of go out of my way to try and make sure that they are. But that's important. And I do think that we should make sure that everything we watch has some kind of substance. Now, there's a place for different kinds of substance. Obviously, it's not like we should constantly be like consuming like, science content or finance content or like personal responsibility, like organizational or, things that always like, like you're, it doesn't have to be like you are like maximizing your productivity. But in general, I think that there's no reason to ever watch anything that gives you no substance. I think that it's just a waste of your time. I think that there's just no reason to. There are things that are substantive and entertaining. There are definitely things that are substantive that are like less entertaining. Obviously, if you're like, unless you're like super into science, but like maybe there's something you watch that's like more educational that like isn't as entertaining as watching like, a video about SpongeBob, even a very substantive video about SpongeBob. And you find the other thing more entertaining. Just try to make sure that something in your life has substance. Are we seeing how that is better for you? Like, I think that's pretty irrefutable. That is just better than the alternative,
And of course, we have the mobile form that debuted in Friend or Foe.
You're both liars. That's not how it happened.
False. The mobile form debuted in the SpongeBob movie. The first movie is the first time we saw the mobile form. Right? That was in the movie. Karen had the mobile form in the SpongeBob. Yeah, they had the part in the Goofy Goober Rock where they were carrying her across. So, see, it got that. See how that might be an AI thing, where the AI went. It's the first episode, or maybe it looked up like that's the first episode. Like maybe it was specifically an AI thing, but like, I feel like that's a little AI of a tell. That definitely shows that you don't watch the show. I'm sorry if you grew up watching SpongeBob. I saw the first movie in theaters when I was like 5 years old. Let's see, 2004. Yeah, I would have been 5 years old when it came out. I saw it in theaters. If you grew up with SpongeBob, I think you know that Karen was in the mobile form in the first movie, and I think that you would know that that was before Friend or Foe. You might not know that that's the first time she was ever in that form, because maybe in your mind there could have been like a season 3 episode where she was, like maybe you just didn't know that she never was in that form in season 3. But this is just it getting it wrong. It just shows that they don't care about the show that they're watching, that they have these inaccuracies. Like, people can make mistakes in their videos, but when you make like this many mistakes and when you're like, oh, I don't do anything productive. Like when I make a mistake in my videos, I think that the audience, and I have made mistakes in my videos, errors similar to this, but like usually when I make errors in my videos, it's about like episodes that I didn't really grow up on. Like, I don't think I would make many mistakes about like a season 3 episode. I feel like people would know, like, okay, like that's just human error. Mostly because you see my face in my videos, so you know that I'm a person. Probably gives you a little bit more leeway. But when I see this, it's like, well, it's because you're a content farm that you're getting this wrong.
As you can see, even at this point, Karen's come a long way. Her voice is more human. She has agency, personality, the ability.
Her voice is more human. I don't think her voice is more human there. It's a weird statement.
Oh, it's Karen's birthday, and Plankton is pulling out all the stops, including physically altering his own body. Now that's devotion. Or desperation. Probably both.
Again, it's just recapping the beginning of this episode where I think Karen wears like a dress or whatever. Why are you showing the whole clip? Oh my God.
Dance class, but the last time they did that, let's just say it did not go well. So this time, Plankton...
The last time they did that, let's just say it did not go well. I hate jokes like that. I hate, like, when the thing, like, that's apparent. Like, the writers of the show got to make that joke where it's like, it didn't go well. But, like, when you say it yourself, it just sounds so cringy. Where, like, that didn't go well for this character. So, yes, we know it didn't go well.
Now, I need you to take a second to appreciate the absolute beauty that is Karen in a dress. That is an absolutely stunning fit. I mean, waist wear. Like, who?
God, I can just tell that they don't care about what they're saying. It's like, you can't even, like, this voice actor is just so bad. They're just so going through the motions. I like, just listen to how bad this is.
And appreciate the absolute beauty that is Karen in a dress. That is an absolutely stunning fit. I mean,
that is an absolutely stunning fit. Like, oh my goodness, you sound so bored. Like, and like, why would you? You know, the script is awful. Like, the script doesn't even give the voice actor a lot to work with. Not that I think that I should defend the voice actor that much. I think they're pretty awful at their job anyway. But like, it's just like not. Of course, the AI is simping for Karen. Well, the voice is an AI, but I guess the text, the chat GPT is into Karen. Or whatever program wrote the initial script.
Flows effortlessly with her on the dance floor. The pearl choker, flawless with a peak dress. Spectacular.
All right, that's it. So they say that Karen has a dress in this one episode, and that's the glow up. Great. What do you get out of this? Like, I'm genuinely asking. You're someone who watches this, and I'm not saying it to make you feel bad. I'm really not. But I really want you to describe to me, what are you getting out of this? You could have watched something else that could have gotten you at least a little bit of something, you know? And I get it. Like, at that point, it's like, ooh, well, like, how do I get the most out of it? Well, you can ask yourself that question once you start watching anything with substance, you know? Why does the video have a progress bar? It's a content farm thing. It's a way of, someone pointed this out in the Family Guy video did this, where every section has a little progress bar, or look, it even has a number. And the reason for that is that for enough people, if the progress bar is almost at the end, people will just let it get to the end because they know it's almost at the end of the section. And that adds up incrementally with the amount of views that they get to just a little bit more watch time. It's just a cynical way of adding like watch time, you know, at the cost of you have to put a stupid thing in the top corner of your video.
Bikini Bottom's long-suffering driving instructor, Mrs. Penelope Puff.
Notice that I called her Mrs. Penelope Puff. So we looked at, not too long ago, we looked at the AI stealing Alex Bale's Mrs. Puff theory, because it was just a theory that got taken by a bunch of AI channels. Not No Villains Are Safe. No Villains Are Safe didn't do any theory videos. But the AI channels, I think 2 of them, of the 4 AI channels that we looked at that stole it, 2 of them referred to Mrs. Puff as Penelope Puff. And I didn't even know that was her first name because I'd never seen the episode that called her that. So I just think it's odd that now with those two videos and this, it goes Mrs. Penelope Puff. And I think that that's an AI tell a little bit. Like, it's hard to say because like you could probably reasonably, if you were someone who knew that her name was Penelope Puff, you would probably be like, Mrs. Penelope Puff, this, like, to like have a little more flair in the writing. But I don't know. I think that the fact that it's kind of an obscure piece of knowledge that that's her first name. She's called Mrs. Puff so often. I think the first time we even hear that name is someone said what episode it was. It's a later episode. Like the first time we even see her name, it wasn't in classic SpongeBob. It's not like how like Sheldon Plankton, there's the whole scene in Plankton's Army where like they make fun of Plankton for being Sheldon. So like people who grew up watching SpongeBob have seen that episode and know that his name is Sheldon. Eugene Krabs, they call him that all the time. Penelope Puff is kind of obscure. I didn't even know that was her name. And I just think that that's because the AI scans the wiki for the character and the wiki says Penelope Puff. It's the first line of the wiki when you search up Mrs. Puff. And I think that that's just the AI calling her that as if that's a common way to refer to her when it actually isn't. But like in two other AI videos, and now it's in this one, weird.
What do you do next?
Floor it.
No, don't floor it.
Floor it.
Stealing a joke from the show.
Honestly, this woman got the patience of a saint. I would not have been able to handle SpongeBob if I were his teacher.
God, I hate I would not have been able to handle SpongeBob if he was my... Oh, really? Really? Yeah, it's almost like it's a cartoon and it's being overly exaggerated for the sake of telling a story. You understand, I'm speaking directly to people who would watch this, if any of you are there. If any of you are watching this right now, who have watched this content, who watched this video and were like, yes, this was entertaining. You understand that when No Villains Are Safe says that, I wouldn't be able to be SpongeBob's teacher. It obfuscates the real reason that SpongeBob is a bad driver. Because the real reason that SpongeBob is a comedically bad driver, that he's always destroying, crashing and Mrs. Puff puffs up. The purpose of telling a story, and that story is meant to reflect a behavior that we should improve on. SpongeBob fails his driving test because he is anxious. He's overly, he's always overthinking his driving test, and that's why he fails. So when he fails his driving test so often and so spectacularly, it comments on that kind of behavior. Now, there's other episodes that can explore it differently. For example, in like Doing Time, Mrs. Puff goes to jail because SpongeBob is a bad driver. The message of that is that sometimes you get in trouble for, ways that are unfair. We as the audience should feel like SpongeBob should have gotten in trouble, not Mrs. Puff. And that comments on that human behavior. And do you see how like when No Villains Are Safe reduces what is actual media literate understandings of things that improve you as a person, improve your understanding of the world, improve your understanding of these shows, makes them more entertaining to watch. Shows are more fun to watch when you think about them this way, guys. I'm telling you, it's more fun to watch a show in terms of what is the author trying to say. It's so much more fun to watch shows like that. If you're watching a show and what you're getting out of it is, if I were SpongeBob's teacher, that would be terrible. You are not getting the most out of the show. You're not getting the most out of your life with that. You really aren't. Like, it's more fun the other way. I promise you. Try it. It's much better. And you have better conversations with your friends about shows. Like, you have so much more to talk about when you actually discuss media, and like it's just all around better. And No Villains Are Safe because either AI is incapable of understanding that, or No Villains Are Safe is so shallow, whoever's behind it doesn't care about that sort of stuff, and they're just trying to find whatever it is that they can say to keep the video going. They ignore that. And they just reduce it to, if I were SpongeBob's teacher, wouldn't that be terrible? Yeah. SpongeBob's driving struggles are relatable to me. Obviously, I wasn't doing cartoon stuff, but I did fail my driver's test a lot due to anxiety. Same. I only failed my driver's test once, but it was totally anxiety. I took a wrong turn and it screwed the whole thing up. And it was probably because I was anxious, you know? I don't know. My mom tried to cheer me up afterwards, trying to say that the proctor screwed it up, gave me the wrong turn, gave me the turn too early, and that was why I failed. But I think she was just being nice. I think I was like SpongeBob. And you know what? Because I watched SpongeBob, I was able to process that and understand that. And maybe because I processed that and understood that through these SpongeBob episodes and through that lesson, maybe that's why I only failed my driving test once instead of multiple times. I don't know. When I try to talk to my friends about themes in SpongeBob, they always say it's just for kids. Noted they don't watch SpongeBob anymore. Everyone's situation is different, but you might need new friends. I'm not going to say dump your friends over that. I'm saying that that attitude from people could be an indication that they're shallow in other ways. You know, so I just say would look out for that. You know, like if you have a friend who says like, it's just for kids, like it doesn't matter. Obviously, it's not a one size fits all rule. Maybe they're the best friends ever. I don't know. Maybe they die for you. I don't know. I don't know who they are. Maybe they're awesome. But like, keep an eye out. You know, like, are there other things about them that are shallow? You know, like, are they? You know, they're like that could be an indication of like, it's an indication of a deeper thing, like on its own being like, oh, I don't like care about SpongeBob episodes. Like, I know it sounds silly to say that that's a bad attitude, and it is a bad attitude, but like that it's an indication of deeper flaws. So like, look out with those friends, like see, you know, do they say similar stuff about the state of the world? You know, if they say, oh, SpongeBob is just for kids, and then maybe you ask them like about, you know, wars going on or something, and they're like, like that doesn't affect me, it doesn't matter to me, you know. I feel like there's a correlation between those two things. And again, I could be totally wrong. Maybe your friends are like super progressive and like super anti-war or something. I don't know what they are, but I feel like there's a correlation between those two things. It's more that they don't understand, rather they actually think bad writing is excusable. Yeah, and I think some people, they get insecure about it. That's why I try to not make people feel bad about watching stuff like this, because I don't want people to feel like insecure. People lash out when they feel insecure, like they feel like they're being talked down to, and people hate admitting when they're wrong. I would know because I've never gotten a commenter. No, not never. I actually have gotten commenters that have conceded and said, oh, wait, you're so right, after I've argued with them. But it doesn't happen often. People feel insecure about it. Like, people really do hate feeling like they're dumb. And you're not dumb. If you, like, not knowing something doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means you don't know it yet. It's a neutral thing until you're made aware that you don't know something. Like if someone tells you, hey, you don't know this thing, and then you refuse to learn it because you're stubborn and insecure, well, now you're actively allowing yourself to not know something. And that not only makes your own life worse, but that contributes to broader, lesser knowing in the world. And that has negative consequences.
Okay, wait. The color combo here might actually be a bit too chaotic for me. I mean, purple coat, lilac fur, green sun hat with a purple feather, blonde hair, red.
It's the... All right, so they're just saying that the outfit... They're just saying the outfit in... Oh, no, they're not. Wait, why is there... There's another Mrs. Puff?
I was on a date with...
Fancy.
Why is there another Mrs.
up
Puff?
Several not on.
Wait, why is there two... Why is there two Mrs. Puffs? I don't care. Is that a mistake, or are they just doing some characters multiple? Wait, why are it, so okay? So it's like 4/18 sections, but some characters are 2 sections.
That one goes.
So some characters
really
just have 2 sections. I don't
which brings us to.
I'm already like.
It's time to get married.
I'm already so done with this video.
The way to get the
When you told him you'd marry money if you could, and you didn't think it was a tiny bit too sus that a gorgeous...
Oh my goodness. I just have to hear how it takes this episode too seriously. It's going to talk about Married to Money. I feel like this is going to be particularly annoying of a recap. So let's go with being angry.
Okay, this one's on you, Krabs. Plankton literally got all bug-eyed and would you now when you told him you'd marry money if you could, and you didn't think it was a tiny bit too sus that a gorgeous cash lady you've never seen before in Bikini Bottom...
My God. Do I need to explain why that's a dumb... It's just cinema sins tier. It's just cinema sins. It's just cinema sins. Just put the dinger. At that point, you're already doing all the tricks. You got this. Just put the sin counter. Just put the sin counter at this point.
Suddenly and conveniently shows up at your restaurant. My brother, come on. We've all fallen for it at least once. You know what? It's your funeral. You do you.
Name's Krabs.
It just said like 4 platitudes in a row. Look, listen to this.
Us that a gorgeous cash lady you've never seen before in Bikini Bottom suddenly and conveniently shows up at your restaurant. My brother, come on.
My brother, come on.
We've all fallen for it at least once.
We've all fallen for it at least once.
You know what? It's your funeral. You do you.
You know what? It's your funeral. You do you. That's 3 platitudes at the end of that sentence, or at the end of that statement. Like, all for the point of criticizing a fictional character because he was. Yes, it's a silly situation. The point. Again, this is supposed to be. It's supposed to make a statement. He's a greedy person, so he wants to marry money. It's a statement on the phrase married to money that generally when someone is too at work and too obsessed with making money and doesn't give a lot of time to a partner, they're called married to money. And the episode takes that literally by having Mr. Krabs marry money. And then they also make it a plankton formula stealing episode. That's what it actually means. And it's fine. I think it's a fine episode. I don't mind the episode. Hi, first stream. Is No Villains Are Safe bad? I've watched it before. It's cheesy though. Oh, I'm glad to hear from you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, No Villains Are Safe is very bad because beyond any of their AI accusations, my problem with No Villains Are Safe is that all they're doing is they're recapping the episode and they're not providing any value to the person watching it. You aren't learning anything by watching this. You aren't gaining anything by watching this. What I would like to hear from you as someone who's watched No Villains Are Safe is what is it that drew you to No Villains Are Safe? Like, I'm genuinely trying to know. I'm ripping on No Villains Are Safe. I am not ripping on the people who watch No Villains Are Safe. I want to know why people watch No Villains Are Safe. That's what I care about. You know, my criticism is on the people who make this garbage, but I do want to understand why people watch it so we can best understand how to like deal with that. And also how to like kind of convince people out of watching it. Because I think people shouldn't watch No Villains Are Safe. I like the way they analyze the crimes of my favorite characters. So you probably don't know this, but the crimes are not accurate in No Villains Are Safe. Like we went over it. You have to look at it really deeply. So I understand you not knowing that, but so it's not, so there are videos on YouTube. There's a creator. If you actually like that, you should watch Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle doesn't really do this much anymore. He used to. Now he's more. Now he more talks about more contemporary political issues regarding law, which is probably more necessary in today's climate. But a few years ago, Legal Eagle did a bunch of videos where he's a lawyer and he talked about how he analyzed shows, including SpongeBob. He did a SpongeBob one with like how actual laws would apply to the characters instead of like No Villains Are Safe, where they just are like, they get $1,000. They get $1,000. I love Legal Eagle. Look at that. The person who just said that they like that the No Villains Are Safe had the crimes loves Legal Eagle. Yeah, exactly. Because the concept of a character like going to jail or like their crimes, that is a good concept. Like I do agree with that. It's just that the way that No Villains Are Safe does it. Like, did you notice while you're watching No Villains Are Safe? And it's so okay if you didn't notice. It's designed for you to not notice this. I cannot stress that enough. How nice I want to be to the people who were roped into watching this crap. Did you notice when you watch No Villains Are Safe that like the entire video was just recapping episodes and playing footage? That was like the whole video, like other than the very minor, like you'll get $1,000 fine for littering or whatever. And most of them are $1,000 fine, which are made up, by the way. But did you notice that they're like, it's like all recapping, like that is the whole video, might as well be a little bit. But I thought that was like, he was analyzing it. Thank you for your answer. That's actually very insightful. I like that answer. I wonder how true that is for a lot of people as well. Because that makes sense. Because you're supposed to recap an episode to talk about it. Even I'll recap an episode sometimes to talk about it. So that's actually good insight. So I guess I could consider that as a reason. Yeah. Yeah, try to look out for that in the future. Anyone watching this, not just the person I'm directly speaking to, but yeah, try to look out for when you watch a channel, especially a channel you're not super familiar with, try to look out for what percentage of the video is just them recapping and like how much of the video is them actually sharing their own thoughts. Does the video have a thesis? Is it trying to make its own point, or is it just recapping the episodes? These are things that people need to be taught. Like, you don't know this if no one tells you. Like, the reason that I know this stuff is because I studied the arts. I studied writing. I went to college for it. That's why I know this stuff. That's why I do this stuff. I want other people to know. If people knew how to do this on their own, I wouldn't have a job. Or I'd have a different job. But like, the reason that I do this is to teach people about this stuff. If people already knew it, why would I be teaching people? But yeah. You love writing. You are working on a horror book. Well, best of luck to you. Unfortunately, I'm sure I've watched AI video essays at some point and didn't realize they were AI. It happens to everyone. Don't want you to feel bad about it. Don't want you to feel bad about it. I do not want to shame the audience. I want the audience to understand and improve and think critically about what they're watching, but I do not want people to feel bad about it. That is never my intention. AI script sounds super weird and inconsistent. Yeah, there's different ways of identifying it though. Like, there's just different levels of it's about just the understanding of the specific subject,
Me to take you to a place where you could buy me dinner.
She has to buy you dinner? I mean, it's not great. The plaintiff's trying to steal your secret formula, but you're not exactly making it easy for us to root for you, Eugene Tightfist.
Wait, that's all. Is that a criticism? Are you serious? Dude, that's the joke. It's money. Why would it not buy him dinner? He's going out with money. Do I have to explain this to you? Are you serious? That's gotta be AI. How would a person not get that that's the joke? Right? Wouldn't that be AI being like, the guy is asking the girl out and telling her to pay? That's not usually what happens. Wow, he's really greedy, without understanding the context that the whole joke is that she's money. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you went on a date with sentient money, it would pay because it's money. Okay. Unbelievable.
Plus, their date goes so well, Crab's ready for cashing in to meet his daughter.
I may have found you a new mom.
Yeah, that line delivery sounded like a real person, but just sounded terrible. That was such bad diction. Listen to the diction here. Like,
an aspirin for someone else's headache. Plus, their date goes so well, Crab's ready for cashing in to meet his daughter.
Plus, the day goes so well, Crab ready, cash in. Like, you're choking on your words, man. Like, oh my goodness. How are you like, this has gotta be some underpaid, like, bad actor. Like, there's no way. Like, this is some pro. Like, they gotta be skimping on it. It's insane that Paramount has not clamped down on those channels. The reason that they haven't is because you can't meaningfully go after these channels without going after channels like mine. And the people who make SpongeBob they want people like, honestly, Paramount, I don't think they care about this. I think that from a business perspective, I think that they're just glad that their show is being talked about. Because perhaps if you're Paramount, you might not like this video, because if someone is watching this video, they're not watching the actual show. But that's the same about my videos too. I think it's just kind of free advertising for them. I feel like if you are an executive, if you own the rights to SpongeBob, you would not want videos like this to exist, but you would want videos like mine to exist, because my videos well, maybe you don't want videos like mine to exist because I criticize SpongeBob, so maybe not. But like, from a principled standpoint, this is like kind of just stealing from you completely, whereas something like mine is providing commentary. But either way, it is advertising for the show. It keeps the show relevant. Like, the fact that SpongeBob is one of the most popular shows on YouTube for people to talk about is good for the business of SpongeBob. It's in their best interest that people make videos about SpongeBob. Also, I'm pretty sure legally fair use is a thing. I don't know how much of like fair use. Fair use is like a legal defense. People throw around the term so much of fair use. but I think actually like commentary is like allowed. Like I do think that like there is an element of legally they can't take. I feel like there would be an argument where if Paramount really cracked down, I feel like they would be able to shut this whole channel down, and I think that they would be able to be legally in the right for it. But I feel like they'd have to fight for it to the point where it wouldn't really be worth their time. That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I don't entirely know. I would have to know a little bit more about law. I bet Legal Eagle would know. I feel like AI shouldn't be fair use as AI is inherently stolen. I think that generative AI shouldn't exist. But yes, I agree. I agree that if generative AI does exist, it shouldn't be considered fair use. Even beyond that, No Villains Are Safe claims to not be AI. So like you kind of have to go off of that.
That's right.
That's not a glow up. It's not a glow up when he's a king. He's just like a king. You're not even doing the video subject right. Like, at least with Karen, like the first one, it was like, oh, she like put on a dress. So like you could make a statement about like, oh, Karen is a computer. So like it's the computer wife. So the computer wife, you know, said she's a computer. She wouldn't really have like conventionally attractive looks. So like the fact that she wears a dress is a way of her almost embracing herself and her own confidence, even though that she's a computer screen. It didn't do any of that because it's shallow, and all it did was say this is an episode where Karen puts on a dress and did a bunch of recapping and said, doesn't she look nice in the dress? But like it could have done that, but this isn't a glow up. He's a king. Like, sure, like I guess like kings like look good or whatever, but it's like it's just a costume to show that he now has power over the sea monkeys. It's not a glow up. It's just, did we ever even put down what they qualify as a glow up? They just said glow up. They didn't really establish it. Maybe they had I don't know. Maybe they had a more specific rule set in here. I don't think they did. I'm pretty sure they're just, why would they have a rule set? This would have violated it if they had a specific rule about it. I think it's just a character in a different costume that I guess would look better rather than worse. And a king, I guess, counts for that.
Bring me all your valuables. What are those dentures? Hand them over.
Come on, those are someone else's dentures, man. That's fracking disgusting. Not exactly.
Yeah. It's disgusting because it's a gross out joke in a cartoon. First time watching the show. It's not even a bad joke, by the way. Like he's greedy, so he even steals the guy's dentures because he's taking everything because he's evil. But I guess to them, it's frackin' disgusting. By the way, frackin' is because they know kids watch this. And I guess that's kind of inoffensive in a video like this, but they'll cover like Family Guy. And there are times where it's pretty bad that kids watch it. It's not really relevant to this video. That like, I guess this wouldn't be that inappropriate for kids, or this wouldn't really be inappropriate for kids, but some of their videos are. And they say stuff like frackin' because it's just they want kids to watch their video and be recommended it. Like, look at a show. Okay, Pearl wears a dress in the prom episode. Like, how much recapping was that from Pearl? Look, I could tell because of their stupid little bar. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to say Pearl wore a dress in the prom episode.
When I was a wee lad, I wanted to grow up to be like long tanned and handsome right here. But anyway, Krabs tries to get.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, voice who definitely never watched this show. 40 minutes. This is 40 minutes of recapping episodes where characters just wear different clothes. And the people behind No Villains Are Safe die and inevitably go to hell. Because that's what they deserve for making this. When they are in hell, I think that their like hell punishment needs to be that they need to live through all of the collective time that they tricked out of people on Earth when they made these videos. Whoever's responsible for this, weighted by who is like the most responsible for this and like the least responsible, you know, like all those people who are being taken advantage of in Brazil making the thumbnails because they underpay people in Brazil to like do their thumbnails or the editing or whatever, you know, these desperate people that are being taken advantage of, you know. But the person who's really responsible for this, I think that's appropriate, right? You know, I think that should be their like Sisyphusian, punishment. They said that one of Patrick's glow-ups is when he becomes Patricia in that one episode. Are they going to have anything to... There's so much you could say about that, though. But Patrick didn't like being Patricia. Like, I know the other characters found him attractive, but like the episode is about, I think it actually is a way of doing an episode that is about gender dysphoria. I think they just did it the other way around, where Patrick is a cis man who is now dressing as a woman, but prefers to be a man. I guess that is kind of how you would read it. So like there is an element of that there. I wouldn't take that away from the episode. But Patrick doesn't like being Patricia. Is like the point of the episode, is that he wants to be who he identifies as, which is a man. He doesn't like the way that, also, I think this episode does also make a very good statement about how, men can be creepy towards women. I think that I watched this episode recently, and it actually does have a really good, because Squidward and Mr. Krabs are like harassing Patrick as Patricia. And I think it actually, it's a great way of hammering that message home, because as a guy, we watch the episode and relate a little more to Patrick. So we see ourselves as Patricia in that moment, and it makes us understand guys being creepy to women more than we would if they were like creepy to like Sandy or whatever. It's kind of a clever way of teaching that lesson. I felt pretty progressive episode for its time, I think, for those reasons. But anyway, I wonder what it's going to say about him being Patricia, because he didn't like being Patricia. Like, that is a part of the story.
Oh, what was that laugh? I guess a glam sesh can't.
You are not allowed to say what was that laugh. Have you ever heard some of the laughs from this voiceover person? Have done very weird laughs.
Fix everything. Does bring the boys.
He just did a weird laugh. You're making fun of their laughing. Like, that's a normal laugh.
The episode sees Krabs and Squidward getting increasingly cringe, trying to win Patricia's affections.
Are you sure about Saturday night?
How about Sunday brunch?
But the whole thing pushes Patty.
Getting increasingly cringe. So see how I just said a few moments ago, pretty unprompted. Like, it was just like, that was just off the top of my head, my analysis of this episode, where I was talking about like how it's a way, like the reason they make Patrick dressed as a woman get harassed is so that a guy can more easily learn how a woman feels being pestered by guys all the time. See how I made that analysis off the top of my head? Like, that wasn't even how well I would say it if I wrote this as a script for a video. And this is just like, they get increasingly cringe. And like, that's it. It's like they're going out of their way to not analyze. You know what? I bet No Villains Are Safe, whether they're AI or not, I bet they go out of their way to not have analysis. I bet if the AI... let's say they're not AI for a moment, just to make it a little easier. But let's say there was like a writer behind No Villains Are Safe, and which there is, by the way, there would be a writer, because if it is AI, they have AI first draft, the writer does second draft. And let's say the writer of the No Villains Are Safe video is thinking exactly what I just thought about how the story function of Patrick being a woman and getting hit on is to teach the lesson of like why guys are creepy. Or is to teach the lesson that guys being creepy to girls is upsetting. And by having Patrick be in that role, we, as a guy, can now relate to Patrick and be like, oh, wait, that would actually be awful. And it allows us to understand how women feel. Now imagine if the writer of the video, or the person who works on the script of the video after AI does it, had a take like that. I wonder if they would go out of their way to not include it, because it would be too dense. It would be too much. Because if they said that about this episode and this episode only, well, then they'd have to have a take about every episode. You know? If they talked about the story implications of Patrick's glow up in this episode, they would have to do that for every single section, all 18 of them. And they don't want to do that. So they actually have to keep it a certain level of shallow in order for their videos to keep going.
The look on Krabs and Squiddy's faces when they realize the woman they've just been simping for is Patrick is just it's pure gold.
I think I need to take a shower.
The look is just it's pure gold. Why is it pure gold? Why is it pure gold? Is it because it's satisfying that we see these two men who were creeping on this woman and the joke's on them that it's actually a dude that they know, and now they're really embarrassed, and that's the narrative punishment for their negative actions in the episode? Is that why it's satisfying? Oh no, it just is because it is. It just is pure gold. That's when he makes himself look all fancy because he's all rich. Again, similar to the Plankton one, this is more of a like. I guess this one applies a little more because he's making himself look a certain way, but this is like a rich guy stereotype. I don't think he's supposed to look better. I think he's supposed to look rich. So it's just all muddy. It's all over the place. Saying that SpongeBob in the Band Geeks outfit that's just an excuse to recap Band Geeks, right? Everyone wore this outfit. Why is it specifically for SpongeBob? See a recap Band Geeks. I could go for a recap of Band Geeks right now.
I mean, we can all recite this episode line by line at this point, right? No, just kidding.
I don't think you can because I don't think you watch this show. So
starts off Squilly and Fancy Son, Squidward's arch rival, in the human embodiment of insufferable.
You're the human embodiment of insufferable. Or the human/robot hybrid embodiment of insufferable, if we're discussing the channel as a whole.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Classic.
Fortunate.
What does that add? Other than you just stole. So it's funny. I did a Band Geeks video recently. One of my personal favorite parts of my Band Geeks video that I think is kind of peak my channel is that I explained why the is mayonnaise an instrument joke is funny. Like I actually like broke it down. And I had to put in the audio of the is mayonnaise an instrument to be like, it's this joke. But I actually was explaining what the joke is. I actually cannot fathom making a video about an episode and just putting in a joke and going like, classic. And it doesn't have anything to do with anything else. Like that is so lame. Beyond lame.
I have enough talent for all of you.
No, you don't. You don't even have enough talent for yourself, buddy.
Maybe we should
You're one to talk, no talent. Like
now I actually feel bad for poor Squidward. He might be the living embodiment of sad and pathetic, but he's our living embodiment of sad and pathetic. I relate to him on a personal level now that I'm an adult. Squidward, on the other hand, makes smile.
I relate to him on a personal level now that I'm an adult. I thought you were talking about SpongeBob as a new outfit. Why are you doing this? Childhood is when SpongeBob, adulthood is when Squidward. Like, what is this?
Well, his claws ain't for just attracting mates.
bring it on.
No, people.
Oh, so now the talking cheese is gonna preach.
Notice how there's so many more quotes in the Band Geeks section because they know it's a more popular episode. So they know that, again, I've said this before, and I know I repeat myself a lot in some of these, but sometimes some points bear repeating. The reason that No Villains Are Safe and Sponge Truths and any of these content farms will put in clips of like iconic jokes and stuff is because when they put in these clips and you're watching it and you laugh, it hijacks your mind into you thinking that No Villains Are Safe made you laugh. So you're laughing at jokes that the SpongeBob writers wrote. And because it's this video, you're like, oh, No Villains Are Safe made me laugh, when they didn't. It was actually the SpongeBob writers that made you laugh.
He makes a speech, and whenever SpongeBob makes a speech, you better sit down and pay attention.
My contempt for this. You better sit down and pay attention when
When your little Jimmy was trapped in a fire, who
Go back to rehearsing, and on D-Day, when school...
Watch my Band Geeks video because I analyze this speech. I like all of the stuff that No Villains Are Safe is like just like saying is happening. SpongeBob makes a speech. The people get in a fight the band geeks all get in a fight. Patrick says is mayonnaise an instrument. All of these things, I actually analyze these things. Like, actually watch my Band Geeks video and compare it to this section of No Villains Are Safe and really think about the difference. I really do implore you to do that. It will teach you so much about what to look for in your media and how much and how easy it is for media to not have the correct things in it. So that's my homework for you. Go find my Band Geeks video. Also, more if I'm in the mood of giving out homework, this is an easier one. Just like the stream and subscribe if you haven't already.
This is exactly how I pictured your band would look.
I don't know what Squilliam's talking about. This look is...
They missed... Wait, there's no way they watched the show. There's no way the editor watched the show. I'm sorry.
This is exactly how I pictured your band would look.
We know what the shot right after that is, right? We know what the next it's SpongeBob going like it's him doing that little dance. Like, that's the next shot. If you're gonna steal the episode, how do you not put that in? Unless you just know nothing about this show. Like that, like I can't think of any other reason. I don't. What's it gonna talk about Hansel Squidward? Do I kind of like? Do I need to even like? Yeah, so it talks about Hansel Squidward. I don't really.
It is perfection. So amazing to the point that it breaks the cartoon reality barrier, becomes a cultural reset for all humanity. I'm not exaggerating.
So similar to what I said about Band Geeks, I did another video that was about this episode, The Many Faces of Squidward, where I like rewrote it. I did like a good, like how that episode could have been a lot better. Again, I think that a good experiment, if you're interested, you should watch my video on it and then watch this section of this video and just compare how much more shallow this section is. And I'll say that without even watching this section. You know, I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't even have to watch it to know. I know it's nonsense. To anyone who watched No Villains Are Safe, who enjoyed No Villains Are Safe, I want to hear from you. I want to know why you like No Villains Are Safe. What do you enjoy about them? How did they get you? And has anything I've said in this video about how they're shallow, about how you get nothing out of it, has it resonated with you? Have you thought differently? Do you have a better idea of what you should be looking for in media? And lastly, most of all, I don't want you to feel bad if you ever watch this, if you ever watched one of these videos and thought they were good and thought they were this. Jackson, I appreciate your strength because I can't imagine watching No Villains Are Safe without commentary. I enjoy it because I'm doing the commentary. I enjoy what I do a lot. I like what I do. I like my job. I have a lot of fun tearing these apart. I had to take a break recently though. There was one week where I just did not do AI stuff because that was like not getting to me. Like, it was just like, I was just not feeling it. And I was like, I got to talk about something else. I enjoy it because of you guys. I enjoy it because I know that I'm sharing. I know that I don't know if I'm making a difference on like their subscriber count or their view count or anything, but I do know that there are people who comment all the time and say that they don't watch No Villains Are Safe anymore because of me, or they don't watch Sponge Truths anymore because of me. And I think that's great. And I think what that shows is that people do care. And that's why I never want to make people feel bad for having ever watched this stuff. You don't need to feel bad about it. Like, and I'm so glad you're here. Like, if you're watching me right now, whether you're in the stream right now, or if you're at the end of the video that is the edited together, stream segment, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching me. You're watching someone who is better, And you know what? Don't take my word for it. Go watch my stuff. Just try to decide for yourself. You can never really know for sure, Obviously I think I'm right, but I'm me. But yeah. So yeah, thanks for tuning in with No Villains Are Safe. I can't look at their stupid profile picture anymore, so I'm going to click away from it. Bye-bye. No Villains Are Safe. Bye-bye.